From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, July 23rd. Rain and storm chances are set to come back for our Friday after a mostly quiet week, but nothing that should have you canceling plans. We'll have lots of hours of dry time. Highs will top out in the mid-80s. The Olympics opening ceremonies kicked off live in Tokyo this morning. The world watched the official start of the Summer Games, delayed by a year because of the pandemic. Athletes from more than 200 countries will be at the Olympic Stadium for the torch lighting. It looked a lot different than in past years. There were no fans inside when the ceremony started. Organizers say the crowds were limited to about 950 people, including 800 foreign guests, which included some of the U.S., and 150 from Japan. The UN Secretary General delivered a video message ahead of the ceremony.
We are all in mourning for those lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. Every athlete in Tokyo has overcome enormous obstacles and demonstrated great determination. If we bring that same energy to our global challenges, we can achieve anything.
Women's basketball player Sue Bird and baseball player Eddie Alvarez will be leading Team USA. It'll be the first time the U.S. features two flag bearers following a policy change by the Olympic Committee. First Lady Jill Biden is in Japan. She met virtually with members of Team USA today before the opening ceremonies. After that, she went to the Imperial Palace for a meeting with Japan's emperor. And aside from showing allegiance to Team USA, you can cheer with even more local emphasis. Several Olympians have ties to Indiana. Not all of them compete for America, but this year there are 15 current or former IU students in Tokyo, 9 swimmers, 3 divers, 2 water polo players, and 1 women's soccer player. It's also sending 2 coaches. Purdue is touting its legacy too. It's sending 9 athletes to Tokyo, 2 swimmers, 2 divers, 4 in track and field, and a volleyball player. Notre Dame is also claiming a small country's worth of athletes. Its website lists 21, including 2 Paralympians and 4 coaches. Notably, 11 Irish fencing athletes, 3 on the women's basketball team, and star Jackie Young in the 3-on-3 women's basketball. Marian University has 2 female cyclists competing, 1 on the road and 1 in BMX. And that's just the colleges. We also have Indiana hometown athletes in men's rugby, men's gymnastics, men's tennis, and women's wrestling. If you want more information, we have all of the names of these athletes and the events they're in on wishtv.com right now if you'd like to follow them along. And COVID concerns hang heavily over the games. Cases are rising in Japan. Organizers promise unprecedented steps to try and keep competitors and everyone else safe. As of this morning, the Olympics website indicates 106 people connected to the games have tested positive. Most of the positive cases have been contractors, but at least 11 are athletes. Tokyo is operating under a state of emergency starting today. Triple jumper Tori Franklin explained how the changes could affect the competition.
My biggest thing is just trying to be adaptable. The people who can adapt to all of the changes are the ones who are going to be able to make it all the way to the finals and hopefully to the podium. So I'm just focused on the goal and trying to dot my I's and cross my T's, making sure I'm doing everything I need to do so that I can get there and compete.
Athletes must agree to follow a strict set of pandemic-related rules. And this morning, the U.S. is at a crossroads. COVID cases are rising in nearly every state. A handful of states are driving a large portion of the surge. Florida, Texas, and Missouri, where vaccination rates are lower, account for 40% of new cases. The director of the CDC warns that we're at a point that is all too familiar.
We are yet at another pivotal moment in this pandemic, with cases rising again and some hospitals reaching their capacity in some areas. We need to come together as one nation, unified in our resolve to protect the health of ourselves, our children, our community, our country, and our future.
The White House coronavirus response coordinator says people who are not vaccinated are at the highest risk of serious disease and death. As schools around Indiana decide how to handle the pandemic this year, some parents in Carmel are expressing concerns. The school district has decided not to require masks in classrooms. We talked to one mom who's also a nurse. She's now threatening to pull her kids out.
The only way we get off this roller coaster ride of wave after wave, the only way is to stop human-to-human transmission. And we know how to do that.
The Hamilton County Health Department held a virtual town hall yesterday, a day after the district made its decision. The panel included a pediatric infectious disease specialist who says masks should stay on in classrooms.
It's just a good, polite thing to do. It helps break through cases, and everyone's going to do better with it. So I would encourage people to wear their mask at school, vaccinated or not.
Under current state rules, county health departments do not have the authority to dictate policies to school districts. Carmel Clay school leaders say they base their decision on guidance from the CDC and the state health department. Colts owner Jim Irsay is sending a message to his team to get vaccinated. Irsay says while more than half of the organization is fully protected, his hope is to get to 100%. A new memo from the league delivers strong motivation for teams to get the shot. The major points: no extra week to reschedule games due to outbreaks. And if there is an outbreak of unvaccinated players and teams somehow manage to reschedule, the team with the outbreak has to pay the extra expenses. If they cannot reschedule, the team with the outbreak forfeits and neither team gets paid. Irsay says the decision is clear.
Getting vaccinated is the right thing to do. And it's crazy right now to see people dying in hospitals because they wouldn't get vaccinated. And of course, the internet spreads all sorts of crazy rumors and all people come up with unfounded theories.
And this morning, the NFL reports that more than half of the teams have vaccination rates above 80%. And vaccine advisors to the CDC are considering booster shots of the COVID-19 vaccine for immunocompromised people. That's according to the Washington Post. The paper adds that the group cannot recommend boosters until the FDA gives full approval to the vaccines or the agency changes its emergency use authorization. The CDC has not officially recommended a booster for anyone. Earlier this month, Pfizer said it wanted authorization for a third dose of its vaccine to act as a booster shot. And many in the NFL are mourning a well-known coach. Greg Knapp's family says he died yesterday afternoon from the injuries he suffered in a weekend bicycle crash. Knapp worked for at least 7 different teams in his career and had just started a stint with the Jets in January. He also coached Peyton Manning when the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl in 2015. Knapp was 58 years old. Colts owner Jim Irsay tweeted, "My heartfelt condolences and prayers to Greg's family." Columbus police are looking for a man they say assaulted a woman at Mill Race Park. It happened around 9:45 Saturday morning. According to police, the victim says a man grabbed her while she was inside a bathroom. Witnesses described the man to police. They say he's white, around 5'10" to 6 feet tall, wearing shorts and a dirt bike helmet. They say he was last seen leaving the park on a black moped. Anyone with information is asked to call the Columbus Police Department. An Indianapolis City County councilor is calling together young people to help curb violence. Lakeisha Jackson is hosting the Far East Side Youth Anti-Drugs and Gun Summit this evening. It goes from 4 to 7 at the Pathway Resource Center on Midhofer Road. Along with food, games, and a DJ, there will be discussions on conflict resolution and healthy choices. Jackson says she's addressing a lack of resources for kids and teens in her area.
I don't think it's up to them to figure this out. I think it's up for us as a community as a whole to figure out what we're going to do to help them. They need help. We want to give them the opportunity to stop and think for 1 second, because that's all it takes. Is a moment, is a second.
Jackson says she plans to hold more events like this as long as funding allows. In Fort Wayne, the global chip shortage is halting a major production line. The General Motors plant will stop making Silverado and Sierra pickups for at least 1 week. Similar moves are happening in Mexico and Michigan. Most of the major automakers have slowed production at times during the pandemic because of a shortage of electronic parts. Another Republican may join the House panel investigating the Capitol riots. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's considering adding Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger. Kinzinger was one of 2 Republicans to vote in favor of creating the committee last month. The other, Liz Cheney, is already on the panel. Indiana Senator Mike Braun is weighing in on Pelosi's decision to punt Indiana's Jim Banks from the committee. Braun says he believes the committee has a political overtone to it.
I think when you're looking for a bipartisan commission on anything, and one side of the aisle has the ability to accept or reject, that's not very bipartisan. So I think Jim would be good to have on there. And the fact that he is not tells me that it's going to be constructed in a way that'll lose credibility.
Braun says the FBI should continue to lead investigations into the riot on Capitol Hill. Some business headlines for you. Researchers at the University of California, Davis, are working with components of spider venom to find alternatives to pain management to stall the national opioid crisis that is claiming more lives every year. The team is not extracting venom directly from tarantulas. Instead, they use computers to create new versions of the tarantula venom peptide with software. They can then have the modified peptide synthesized and used for testing. They say spiders and scorpions have millions of years of evolution of small molecules and peptides that may be able to offer pain relief. The internet outage that took down several major websites seems to be fixed. Several major websites briefly went down in a widespread outage linked to content distribution network Akamai. The outage caused real-world disruptions. For example, Delta Airlines customers couldn't check into flights online. Intel chief executive Pat Gelsinger sees the global semiconductor shortage potentially stretching into 2023. The worldwide shortage has fueled rising prices for some consumer gadgets. Meanwhile, the auto industry has been particularly hard hit as the lack of a key component causes production delays. While it may be 2 years to get back to normal, some easing of the situation could happen later this year. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is developing plans to quickly spend $52 billion to deal with semiconductor supply issues if Congress passes a bill funding such efforts. That's according to U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. And finally, Domino's says its wait times have gone up in certain regions. The CEO says a Domino's spokesperson declined to elaborate on the exact time period that he was referring to. Staffing issues have also meant that, quote, "We haven't made the service gains and improvements that I would like to see here in 2021. For Domino's, that means not only longer delivery times, but slower progress on opening new restaurants. The Lume, the new exhibit at Newfields, features projections of famous works of art from the floor to the ceiling. The show lasts about an hour. 40 minutes of the program are dedicated to works by Vincent van Gogh. The other 20 minutes feature short stories and other content inspired by Van Gogh. The Lume opens on Tuesday. Tickets are $20 for Newfields members and $25 for the general public. Helio Castroneves will get a shot at a fifth Indy 500 win and his first ever IndyCar Series title. Myers Shank Racing confirms Castroneves will have a full-time ride next season instead of the one-race deal that landed him in victory lane at the Speedway in May. The team is calling 2022 the Drive for 5. The last time Castroneves raced an entire season was 2017. The Indy 11 are back on their home pitch this weekend, hosting Birmingham Legion FC. The 11 are trying to shake off a drive spell and get their first victory in a month. You can watch it all live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Wish TV. And the owner of the Colts, Jim Irsay, we've talked about him quite a bit here on the podcast today. He's planning a big bash for the team's 2 new Hall of Famers at next month's induction. News 8's Charlie Clifford explains what Irsay has in store.
There's never really any limitations, I don't think, except, how many people can physically fit inside the circus tent that the party's in.
Jim Irsay is pulling out all the stops for 2 of his all-time favorites. One weekend, iconic teammates enshrined together.
2 players, of the ilk of Edgerrin and Peyton is incredible. It's so great for the horseshoe, and it's, certainly followed up with Marvin and Bill and Tony having gone in, and we're hoping for several others going into this decade.
This time next year, Jim Irsay may be planning yet another trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Can Reggie Wayne follow up? Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James heading in. As for this August, former coaches, players, and staffers, Irsay focused on making this the biggest possible party the Colts can draw up.
There's no limits. They asked me for this DJ or that DJ, and I said, fine. I just want to see everyone have a great time, and I haven't shut anything down yet. No one's asked me to have, the Rolling Stones or U2 play yet at their party, but yeah, it could be a negotiation.
It's very clear. For these 2, forget the bill for this bash. I'm Charlie Clifford for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And Wish TV is working to stock shelves for Teachers' Treasures with a great paper push. It's our 7th year supporting the organization that helps put supplies in classrooms throughout Indianapolis. Last year, we raised more than $37,000, plus a truckload full of school supplies. We want to do better this year, so grab your phone, go to wishtv.com. There's a link to donate, and there's also a form to have your own collection team under the Community tab. You can find the full list of sponsor locations if you'd just like to drop off some school supplies as well. And thank you to all who helped earn News 8 new honors. We won 2 Cardinal Community Service Awards from the Indiana Broadcasters Association. Wish TV's is for the Second Helpings campaign. Mindy TV 23's is for work supporting the Moselle Sanders Foundation. Both of those succeeded because of the generous support of our viewers and to our listeners. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.